every person that I've asked that question to had her on the list.
Oh.
So Cam, you might be different though. You don't have to stick to the script, man. The question is for you. You got 3 slots on your playlist. You can only fill them with Vallejo based artists. Who you listening to?
Well, I'm sorry, I gotta put her on it now because I mean, her is just she is just another talent that's just on another level. And like you said, underdog. Even though she's gotten a Grammy, she's gotten an award, she's performed on the Super Bowl, she's performed with so many different artists, but I still feel like she's not getting her just due.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
but I think that's like you said, underdog. Where we come from, that's just what it is. We gotta crawl to get to all the way to the top. And she's been at the top, but I still think she has a lot to still
Agreed.
accomplish. Some more glass ceilings to break through. So her and just like her music is just so like when she first came out, I was like, who is this girl not showing her face in front of Vallejo? I'm like, why does she want to show
Mhm.
her face? I'm like, what's going on? And then I was like, I'm not gonna listen to it. And then after a while, people just kept on talking about it. I'm like, okay, she's from the home, from the Bay. And from Vallejo, so I gotta go back. And I started listening to music. I was like, oh, I don't need to know her face if she's doing
Yeah.
all of this. Like her music just speaks for itself. And then when she started showing her face, I was like, oh, okay. She wanted to be about the
Yeah.
music because she is very beautiful, but she just wanted to be about the music and her artistry and what she can bring. So I understood that, but just going back to hear her music, it was like, wow, amazing.
Yeah. It definitely worked.
Um, Got to give my second slot to 40 Water, E40 all day. Uh, Man, I remember growing up hearing Sprinkle Me on the radio with that song when that I was like, oh. And then when I just hearing that like on the radio and it's like me and like all my cousins, we used to just vibe out to that song, and we would just we would be like saying like trying to like learn the lyrics, even though he was slicker than a hippopotamus and just like trying to be fast with it. We was all trying to like be like him and like rap like him and just like just from with him being from the Bay Area, but like, hearing that on 106 KMEL almost every day just was like special. So and just seeing him grow as an artist too, like and to have him get his crossover success almost 20 years into his career,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, man.
crazy to me because of course for us it was like we knew
Mhm.
E40. So but to see him like when he got with Lil Jon and did his songs with him and T Pain and all that. Like, it was like we knew what he was about. But that's when like the whole world finally got to see Vallejo on a whole
Yeah.
different level.
Yeah.
So that was huge for huge. So definitely got to put E40 on the list. And then last, but certainly not least, R.I.P. Mac Dre.
Mm.
Mac Dre. I didn't really, growing up, I didn't really get to listen to a lot of hip hop. My parents would let some stuff slide. But when I got into high school, that's when like people started like I got put on the Mac Dre and I had to go back and listen to like some of his older projects and just for him to start the whole hyphy movement and just like bring that to the Bay Area and for him to like I said for him to just bring that out and like for people to just like latch onto it and just see his influence in the music even still today,
Mhm.
which is crazy just to see that. So to have that influence and just like that was still like underrated to the whole hyphy movement when it came out.
Mhm.
It took a lot for it to like get built up into, but like I said, underrated, underdog. But his stamp is forever, linked to that and just what he did in the short time that like he was out before, what happened. So
Yeah,
definitely
man.
Mac Dre.
Both great lists. Both great lists. I mean, you guys both had her on there, and then Cam, you finished it off with 40 and Mac Dre. And Monica, your list included her, Miles. I can't remember his name again. Start with an M, last
Miles
name
Minnick.
Minnick. I was gonna say Minia, Minnick, Miles Minnick,
Minnick.
Minnick,
Minnick, I believe it
Minnick.
is.
Okay, Minnick,
Yeah.
Miles
Look them
Minnick.
up, you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah, and
I
Sly
have one more.
Stone.
Can I add one more?
Absolutely honorable mention.
Okay, okay, I gotta give it to Benicia, California. There was a trio, in the late 90s, early 2000s of gospel artists at our church rapping together. And there was one artist in there
Oh
who, I
man,
love my brothers, but Johnny was bringing it. Like every time he would grab the mic, it was just fire. So
that's
I
crazy.
got to give it up to Johnny King the third.
Man, that's love. I appreciate that, Monica. You know, I mean, some of y'all on here, you know, if you're watching, you may know me for that. You may not know me for that. There have been a couple people on here who mentioned that before, but you know, Monica definitely was there when I was rapping on
Yeah.
stage at church. You know, me and Chad and Tim. Rest in peace to Tim
Mhm.
Peterson and Greg.
Yes, yes.
You know, the homie Greg, man, and oh man, I miss Tim, man. I miss brother Tim. But that was some
Amen.
good times, man. I did remember being on the mic spitting. I don't know if I'm one of the top artists
Oh
in the well, not
man.
at all. But I'm glad that you remember that and you acknowledge that. I still
I'm a
remember some of
fan.
those
I'm a
rhymes I
fan.
wrote for Pastor Sam, man. I remember some of those rhymes getting up on mic. I remember vividly, like being on stage and people in the in the congregation, older people, white people, Filipino people, young people,
Yeah.
all of them was just like, oh, okay, he's getting it.
Yeah.
That was a good time. Cameron, man,
Yeah.
with your responses, with 40 and Mac Dre, rest in peace to Mac Dre. Monica, as soon as he mentioned Mac Dre, you threw up the T. If y'all don't know, it's for Thiz, like it shows you that we know
That's my
about our
nice little
culture.
fist face.
When you from Vallejo, you know all about it. She didn't mention too much rap in her list other than Miles Minnick, but you know, she know what this means. She know Mac Dre is related to. You know what I mean? That's just from our small city. And Cam, you right. Mac Dre was so influential to our culture, hip hop culture. I'm trying to say. To this day, he still gets sampled by other people, other artists, famous, big name, huge artists mention him in their music, which shows you that they know how far his music goes back. They know the creativity that comes from him. A lot of the lingo that you hear in all of hip hop comes from a lot of it. I would say 70% of the lingo in hip hop come from two people, Mac Dre and E40, both of them from Vallejo,
For
California.
sure. For sure.
Like real talk. Yeah, great list. I think Monica, when I was well, I don't know if I want to tell that story. I'm gonna tell you that story off camera. It is about Sly Stone and a crazy time when one of his songs came start playing. I don't want to talk about that song right now. I mean that moment right now online.
Okay.
But I will talk to you off camera about that. But Cam,
Okay.
all right. So I appreciate y'all doing this.